Alright, so next thing, sorry, a little sweaty after crawling under that tiny space that, if I didn't mention it before, isn't built for guys my size. But anyway, moment of truth now is to I just noticed I forgot to put this on. Alright, so got the plate on there now. Have the bolts that go through that I'll connect later. And what I'm going to do, I didn't explain it last time, but cold is going to go in first. I'll get that connected. Then I'll put the hot line down. Just doing it this way based on what I can reach. So I got to do them one at a time so I know what's what. So doing the cold line first, then the hot. Then I'll put the line for the faucet through. And once I do that, I'll go back underneath and connect it. Okay, we're now back to the moment I was at before when I said it was the moment of truth. When I was going to turn the water pump on and make sure there were no leaks. I now have everything reconnected. As you can see, everything is not secured yet because if there's a leak, I want to be able to get it to it a little easier. So we'll give this a shot, turn on the water pump and see what we hear. And we do have a drip. So I will investigate. The leak is definitely at the cold water line, and which is sitting right there. I think you can see it. So I'm going to disconnect that and see if I can get some plumber's tape on it and tighten up the connection. Alright guys, so the existing PEX pipes that are down there are too long. And if I install it the way that they're there, the lines to the faucet are gonna crimp. So I went and rented this crimping tool for PEX fittings, and then bought some new fittings and a PEX cutter, because I'm going to need to cut those, shorten them, put in new fittings. Alright, if you've never seen a plastic pipe cutting tool, and I haven't, this is the way it works. Alright, so another little lesson for you. If you're not familiar with this PEX type of piping or haven't worked with it before, essentially it's a hard plastic pipe, and this is the piece that I just cut off. The way that it works is you put one of these fittings over the end, then the pieces come like in two pieces like this, and goes inside. One piece goes in the other, then that goes into the pipe, and then you use the crimping tool to tighten down this ring. Use the crimping tool to tighten down this ring. And I'm not going to do it right now just because I want to save that ring, but that's how it works. I did something I should have done days ago, which is just take out this shelf and take out this middle part so that I can get to everything a lot easier. Word of warning with these PEX fittings. When you're crimping the fittings All right, now to see if the faucet works. That's good news. All right, so the other thing I need to do is to install this weight on the hose so it assists in retracting. All right, guys. Believe it or not, I have to undo everything again because I forgot to put this around the faucet. So, word of advice, take your time. Make sure you get all these things put together before you connect everything. Everything's put together. The water pump is on. This thing is in there solid. Cold water works. Water's coming from the hot water side. The only mystery that's going to be left to answer is, did I get the hot and cold water pipes correct? Because I'll be honest, as I was doing this project, those things got twisted around, and I don't know if I got it right or wrong, but I should be able to just reconnect them should I have gotten it wrong. So I'm going to turn on the water heater and see if I did it right.
Hey guys, so just to wrap up the plumbing video, apparently I didn't have the patience to turn the GoPro on another time while I was testing out the hot and cold water, so I'll save you the suspense. The hot and cold were set up correctly, so that spared me having to take the plumbing apart again. But just a couple of words of advice as you go through, if you go through this project, and you know, these might just be my issues based on how our RV is set up, but make sure you've got good access to the plumbing that you're working on. If you can't get a good grip on those fittings, you're not going to be able to get anything tight, and so you need to be able to get access to it. So if you got to take a couple things apart to get there, it's probably best to do so. Number two, make sure that you have the right tools. That's about the only way that you're going to get the job done correctly. And I guess I would say 2A would be, you don't always have to buy the tools. The crimping tool that I used, to buy that new would be about $70, and I rented that, paid $8 for 4 hours to rent that tool, saved a bunch of money, and just didn't know if that was something that I was going to use again anytime soon. So that was a better use of our resources. And then number three, take your time. You know, any project with RVs, especially if it's your first time doing it, you know, there's a learning process. In addition to the fact that you're doing something to the RV that it wasn't originally set up with. So there may be some little changes, glitches here and there that you got to work your way through. So, you know, take your time, think things through. Like I said, I had to reconnect that thing 2 or 3 times just because of my stupidity. You know, I thought I was being smart, not putting everything exactly together just in case there was a leak, but in doing so, I missed a couple things. So, like I said, just take your time. If you find the video helpful, or maybe you got a laugh out of my stupidity, please share it with your friends. As always, we appreciate you following along. Give us a thumbs up if you could. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Hope everybody's doing well out there, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks.